see that sheep over there, the one that's sort of side on to us with the blue, has now got his back to us. That is the sheep, I believe I recognise it, that David Schleckovich released its head from the wire a few years ago. They've obviously decided to keep that one going. He's not ended up in a curry yet. Good morning. Well, although the windows are only open the obligatory inch, just in case I should take flight and decide to jump, this is the view that I have outside my window this morning in Westport, Ireland, and I can still hear the birds twittering away in the woodland across the way there. So it's time to have a look at the map and see what today's route is. Right, well, we're going to need to go down onto the other page in a minute, but let's see. So I'm currently in Westport, so I'm going to take this road here down to Leenane, where I was yesterday, and then I'm going to follow the Killary Harbour route out along this road here to Letterfrack, and then I'm going to go along here to Clifton. I've got a few things to see on the way that I want to try and see on the way, and ideally I want to go down to Roundstone, and then I will probably follow this route actually into Galway. It depends on the amount of time I've got, to be honest. So I'm not staying in Galway. I've been there many times. Lovely town actually, but there's not that kind of trip, and I'm going to be there later in the year. So, and then I'm going to come round to stay the night in Kinvara. Of course, I've no idea how these places are pronounced, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. I was tomorrow going to go up and travel around the Burren, which is most extraordinary part of Ireland, where it's high ground, where there is just slab rock. It's almost like the moon. But I'm not going to do it now. It's not on the coast, and I'm trying to stick to the coast, so I'm going to end up taking this road here. The other thing tomorrow is I've got a long trip actually, so I need to avoid hills and get on with the trip all the way down to, well, way down south. It's going to be about 130 miles tomorrow, so that's my plan anyway. So the weather looks fairly grim. In England today it's going to be in the high 30s or mid 30s anyway. Here we're going to have a problem making about 13. It's extraordinary actually how different the weather can be in these islands actually, but at the moment my wife is at home with the air conditioning blasting out, and I'm here, well, frankly quite cold when I'm travelling along at 40 miles an hour on the bike. So anyway, there's also going to be some rain, of course, but I've seen as heavy rain as I will ever see, so I'm not worried about that. So it's off to breakfast. Yes, another full Irish for me. Just watching this lot getting onto a bus. Frankly, I couldn't imagine anything worse than going on a vacation like that. So on my way now from Westport to Leenane, which is where I was yesterday. on a little bit busier road today, just to get down to Linnane, and then I'm going to branch off out onto the coast road. This is quite impressive. Lovely countryside. The weather feels a bit threatening. So this is where I had my cup of tea and cake yesterday. So this is Killary Harbour, and you've got Linnane at one end of it, and you've got the Atlantic Ocean at the other end. And it is in fact a fjord. It was carved out by the ice. Not necessarily the most typical example of a fjord at this point, but that's what it is. The loch ahead has the romantic little name of Loch Muck, M-U-C-K. I wonder who decided to call it that. The local residents are not familiar with the rules of the road, I think. This loch almost has an infinity view by the look of it. Now the adventure bike pilots said to take this road to the Rosroe Pier. Well, I've just come down the steepest of roads to get here, so I'm just hoping she'll get back up again. Oh, this isn't the end. Well, this is just the type of little harbour I used to dream about before I came to Ireland. I just used to imagine such places, quiet little places, although there's an engine running in the background, overlooking the sea, overlooking the harbour. Absolutely gorgeous. Sheep, and the sheep come down here as well. What a smashing place. I can't believe it. There's evidence of sheep all over the place here. Oh, bit of welding going on, so I won't look at that. So I don't know whether these are operational fishing boats or not. But look at this. Natural side of the harbour here. Amazing. All is quiet. The welder has stopped. Well, that was worth coming down here, so thank you, Mr. Adventure Bike Pilot. So the adventure pilot got me down to this place. But will I be able to get back up the hills? It's very quaint here. How's that for a view? Very peaceful down here, but it won't be very peaceful in a minute climbing that hill. Locals. Now what are they going to do? Dear oh dear. Right, here we go then. And in second, sorry, in first. Of Loch Muck, which we resume our ride along. Bit of a tight turn here. Up there. This has always been one of my favourite vistas. This little house here, which I once took a shot of with smoke coming out the chimney on its own little lock. Wonder if I can get the drone up here. And behind me, one of the famous Connemara ponies. I love it out here, but the weather isn't brilliant, it has to be said. There's rain in the air. I'm so pleased to have got that bit of drone footage though of that little place. I love it there. Lovely little inlet with a little house on it. I've got a photograph of the chimney smoking many years ago. How about that for a view then? What a beach, and 2 people on it. What a wild place to live. This is the main form of transport you'll find out here. Bicycles, motorbikes and tractors. My goodness, this is quite a road. View from up here. You see that sheep over there, the one that's sort of side on to us with the blue, that now got his back to us. That is the sheep, I believe I recognise it, that David Schleckovich released its head from the wire a few years ago. They've obviously decided to keep that one going. He's not ended up in a curry yet. How's that for a view then? Not bad. Foxgloves, daisies, buttercups, a horse down there, sheep, and some little lakes. This is Letterfrack Pier. I've just been into Letterfrack and I just cannot believe how places, cafes and that are just not open. And they attribute it all to COVID. People have been let go and they've not come back. They can't get them back. A lot of the people that work here were from Eastern Europe. I say here, I'm talking Ireland and England. And they went home and they didn't come back. Just coming into Clifton, hoping to get some lunch here. Not the most quaint of Irish towns, I have to say, but somewhere to stop for a minute anyway. Alcock and Brown Hotel. I'm hoping to find the spot where Alcock and Brown landed. a bit. Just trying to find a cafe. Bloody hopeless. I don't want to go in a pub. Looks like we've got one here. Well, it is now pissing down with rain. Has been for the last hour, but I've been in a cafe. So I'm hoping to go and see find the Alcock and Brown landing place. The only thing is, it might be like a mud bath getting to it. I'm not going to close the gate because I'm not going to be out here 5 minutes. Well, it's somewhere in this barren landscape with a number of huge rocks, it has to be said, that the pioneers, Alcock and Brown, put their plane down, having crossed the Atlantic for the very first time. Pretty amazing. There isn't a lot of very flat ground here, but I guess once it landed, it didn't take off again. Anyway, found the spot. This is as good a spot as any to show you the peat that's been cut here, which is used to heat homes, particularly in the country areas of Ireland. I think has a distinctive smell when it's actually burning, and it's peat is like a stage between wood and coal, and so it's combustible and will do a good job in heating the house. However, it's not a very environmentally friendly thing to do. It scars the landscape, and you can't disguise the landscape once it's been cut. You can see all, I mean, I don't know if you can see those tractors in the distance, and also the bags in the field. You see this all over this kind of part of Ireland, and it's all to do with peat cutting. Here's the gate, which I will close just in case anybody thinks I'm a vandal. So right here is the appropriately shaped Alcock and Brown Memorial, just up the road from where the landing place was. So this says, this memorial honours the achievement of John Alcock and Arthur Whitten Brown, the first men to fly non-stop across the Atlantic Ocean. On the morning of the 15th day of June 1919, they landed in their aircraft 500 yards beyond the cairn, which can be seen 1.5 miles south of this point, having left St John's, Newfoundland 16 hours and 27 minutes before. The aircraft was a Vickers Vinny biplane powered by two Rolls-Royce Eagle 8 engines of 350 horsepower each, and the average speed during the flight was 115 miles an hour. Amazing, actually. Imagine flying in over this lot and seeing not realizing perhaps that they were going to land on stones or whatever. Anyway, they did it. Fair credit to them, but as I say, I can't imagine the plane took off again. What a little bike, eh? What a little bike. Somebody ought to put a monument to me up here. Well, I'm now heading for Roundstone the hard way, even though it is raining. Bugger it. I'm gonna go for it. They've certainly got sandy beaches round here, but not the weather to sunbathe on them. Connemara sands. I hate to sound like I'm whinging. The rain is easing off, but it's still blowing a bloody gale out here. Honestly, I don't know where all this wind comes from. So we're now in the land of stone walls, boulders in the fields, massive rock outcrops. The true west of Ireland. You can see these stone outcrops here. There's little or no fertile ground. Basically, it's subsistence farming. They may have got some cows and sheep, but there are no crops here growing. What a landscape. Houses here and there, built in between the rock. Extraordinary, really. Just coming into Roundstone, really pretty little harbour on Galway Bay. Here I am in Roundstone, just about to get a cup of coffee, and I remember being here a number of years ago now, and they had quite a famous non-magnetic boat or yacht tied up here. Something to do with the North Pole and all that kind of thing. I'll see if I can look it up. Decided to sit down here with a mug of hot chocolate. How decadent is that? Just talking to the guy in the coffee shop about things still being very much in the recovery phase from COVID. And of course, apparently here, they didn't have the furlough scheme, the same as we did. Basically, the government just took over everything. They didn't make companies pay a penny. So of course, all the people that used to work here, a lot of them decided they didn't want to work in hospitality anymore, and they went home to Eastern Europe or whatever. Got jobs elsewhere. Bit of a problem. The ladies just come out and give me that because they're closing before long, and they won't be able to get rid of it. So they got rid of it to me. How kind is that, though? They also said that there were 3 coffee shops in the town or in the village, and there is nothing like enough tourists to sustain them all, so none of them are open full time. Just listening to somebody practicing the recorder or flute, or recorder I think, or whistle of some kind. Pussycat waiting outside. Now I've decided I'm not going to go back up all the way along the coast. I've done it before a number of times, and I'm just going to get myself through Galway, and I'm heading off to Kinvara, I think it's pronounced, tonight, which is just near Galway, and I want to get there at a decent time, so let's go. Having said that, I'm pretty much near the coast here, aren't I? I don't know whether these two are waiting for a bus or what. Members of the public loitering on the streets. To be honest, before I came over here, I really didn't know if I could even do this. And without being inviting fate, tempting fate, I do realise that I am able to do it. So I've made it round this far. My backside has survived, and I'm way over halfway round now, so I'm actually looking forward to going home and seeing my family and my present wife. I know how everybody loves me calling her that. Off to Galway. See the Galway? I'm going to put on my my wet stuff, or my jeans anyway, or the wet jeans, because I think it's going to rain before I get there. Nice little place. Love these ramps. Just driving around Galway, about 15 miles from where I'm staying at the moment. Managed to find myself in Galway in the rush hour. It's 5:30 in the afternoon. Coming into Kinvara, and lovely old castle here. Now in Kinvara. Here is my room tonight in Kinvara, and Absolutely fine. I think it's a pretty reasonable price. Blue. How do I, oh, listen, I'm going to put this in. So they've been in the dark in here. Oh well, it's okay, isn't it? I should be able to get in there.